Hi, and welcome to Morning Coffee with Pizzan Academy. I'm Deanna, and today I want to talk to you about the glory of the short story and how amazingly rich these stories are. In the 1900s, short stories became very popular, and part of the reason is because of magazines, and these periodicals became more and more popular. And printing was expensive, and there were two options that writers could do. You could go the Dickens route, where you would have this sort of episodic writing, and every week or every month there would be a new chapter or a set of chapters, or you could create short stories. And this is sort of the era of the short story. And we have these amazing writers, even Dickens, were writing these short stories for periodicals. In the late 19th century and early 20th century, this particular form of writing became very popular for women as well. It was a way that they could get published. And so you have people like Kate Chopin, Flannery O'Connor, and even fast forward a little bit, you get Dorothy Parker. And the short story is really the genre, their sweet spot, where they're getting their ideas out. And so this really rich medium is amazing to explore. And I don't think a lot of people think about reading short stories. When we think about the classics or going back and reading these great authors, we're like, oh, I don't have time. There's just not enough time in the day to pick up a 400-page book. But you can still engage with some of these great authors on a shorter time period. You could read one in less than an hour and get the experience of understanding their take on the world. Reading these classic authors, you build empathy, you understand humanity, and they're just really so fun to read. And this is also a great way to get younger people, high school students, middle school students, reading these great classics and these great authors, is by introducing a shorter work, maybe something that isn't as intimidating, along with their schoolwork. They probably may say, I don't have enough time to read a classic novel unless you're already assigning that classic novel. But these short stories are a way to get them introduced to some of these authors. And then once you introduce them to the short story and they love the writing, then they're going to want to seek out more. Now, there are ways that you can find these stories. One good way is just to, for instance, if you have a high school student, you can Google classic short stories for high school, and you will come up with tons of reading lists. There are also compilations, and a lot of compilations of short stories that have different themes. For instance, on our shelves, we have some that are based on heroes. We have some that are based on, 19th century traditions. We have some that are based for children. I have a set that's the 100 greatest short stories of all time, and this was published in the early 1900s. Throughout the mid-century, 1950s and 60s, there was a resurgence of putting these short stories from these classic authors together. And so if you go to a used bookstore or from the comfort of your own home, look on Amazon or ABE Books, and you can find these compilations very inexpensively and just thumb through them. We do that often for our curriculum because we'll assign some longer works, but we want to also continue to enrich using literature. So we'll go through these short stories, and we found some amazing things from Guy de Maupassant or Charles Dickens, Dorothy Parker. There are also stories that we've used from authors we weren't familiar with, like Anthony Hope. And this is just a really rich way to engage in the classics and just curl up on an evening and read a story about something that you may not have ever enriched your life with. The short story can be a gateway to the greatest books, the classic novels, for you or your family, even your friends. You can start a short story book club where there's not so much pressure to read a 200 or 400-page book every month, just 20 pages. And so it's just a really amazing way to introduce these wonderful authors. If you like what we're doing, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when we have new videos that are posting. We also have social media links in the description below. And I'm off to research my own short story. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.